Welcome. This is the Brazil national team. First of Cesar. First, he played for Inter back in Italy, and he was part of the World Cup in 2006. And he was a great goalkeeper. And sometimes he can have his downtime and his uptime, but we love him more since Dida can't play anymore since he's too old. So now we have a new goalkeeper named Julio Cesar. And now he plays for the Rangers in England. We have Dani Alves. Dani Alves, well, he was supposed to be kind of like Roberto Carlos a bit, but his style of playing is kind of different because since his style of playing is exactly kind of like Marcelo, so now his style of is so different that now every single time we play for the national team, you can see that sometimes he would be attacking and Marcelo would be in the back waiting for him to come back. So they would switch technique from time to time. Marcelo would attack and Dani Alves would take place. And Marcelo now play for Barcelona. Now we have Thiago Silva. He played for Milan, AC Milan for a while, and then he got transferred to PSG. And now there's transfer rumor that he might go somewhere else, or maybe Real Madrid is interested, and Barcelona and all those big other clubs. He, like most other players, sometimes can cause a mistake in the back defense. The only problem that I have with him is sometimes he'll lose focus and trying to control the ball a little bit and would lose so much focus and he would lose the ball in the defense and everybody would have to hurry back just to help him out. David Luiz. I don't know why most Brazilians like to do this, but David Luiz is kind of like Marcelo a bit, but except he's like in the he's a mid defender. The thing is, he if you watch him play in Chelsea, you can see sometimes he attack with the ball and would leave some players behind, which would make you frustrated after a while because you're watching the game and like he's way down there when he's supposed to be defending. And I don't mind it sometimes because sometimes like he can launch like a bullet from like 30 yards away, which is amazing for a defender to do. Marcelo. Marcelo. I'm pretty sure he was included in the 2002 World Cup. Maybe. I'm not sure. But whatever. Marcelo played for Real Madrid, and his style of form is kind of like a left mid. Um, During the Confederation Cup, I watched him play, and the way he was playing was so different because when Neymar would go forward and enter the box, he would most likely be on his left side, and you can see him wanting the ball for a cross. My problem is that like whenever he comes down, and remember when I said that Dani Alves would sometimes come up also, the thing is when he comes down, Dani Alves would have to stay back or move a little bit closer to the edge of the box, which would leave two defenders from behind. Sometimes if Marcelo would slightly go forward on the left side, the thing that would bring is a kind of a problem because if counterattack sometimes for Brazil, if you counterattack them, you might have a chance to score a goal. So when Marcelo move up, the thing that happened is the two defender would be David Luiz and Thiago Silva, which will be in the back, waiting for him. But like since sometimes David Luiz would come up just a bit in the midfield, you can see that like if anybody would counterattack them, the right side would be the perfect place for an attack against them. So sometimes if I would have that problem, I would watch him play and I would be so frustrated because like he would the only reason he would like stay sometimes in the back in the midfield when players would need help, and sometimes he would go forward, and sometimes it's very helpful to the team too because it put pressure on the team. But if the team is playing smart, they can have like one of their attacker just going to the place where Marcelo is at, because if you move an attacker to the place where Marcelo is at, then the defense would kind of crumble because you can go for an attack on the right side, and if that attacker can dribble, he can get past David Luiz, but he has to be very strong because David Luiz can put him down, or Thiago Silva can too. Um, I don't know much about Ramirez, but I know he played for Chelsea, and he's pretty good because I consider him as a sort of like a right mid. Well, actually, he is a right mid. The problem is that Ramirez would have. He is not kind of physical, like have the strength to push somebody off the ball. The thing is that Ramirez, if you need him to be on whenever they're attacking, Brazil is attacking. If you look at the way Ramirez is going, is most likely gonna be trying to pass it to the left side because Brazil most of the time they would attack with the left side more because that's the better side because since Neymar and what's his name? Oh my God. Neymar and Marcelo would attack. He would likely pass it and move to the middle a bit, and most of the time he would like move so Oscar would be right in the middle and he would be on the right side of Oscar, and sometimes he would get past it and Dani Alves would attack and they would move forward, and since if Dani Alves crossed the ball, the midfield the shit fuck you guys know what I mean. Since it would cross it, he would have the possibility of scoring. And we move on. Uh, his style of playing is most kind of like Ozil, but he is kind of like take his time. He's really good at taking his time and looks. Actually, he's kind of like more fast paced because if you watch Ozil playing, he's more kind of like laid back and just pass it. Ozil, if you look at Ozil, he have like sometimes would have so many chance of scoring, but if he see a chance of scoring, he would take it, and that's a good playmaker to have. And in my opinion, he's a playmaker. We have Paulinho. Paulinho is the guy in the midfield that would give you that kind of boost if you need like more strength in the midfield. Because you saw Ramirez and Oscar, they were pretty much those skinny guys, and Paulinho is the strengthened guy that would attack people and put more strong defensive end to them to lose the ball. Now we have Hulk. Hulk, which play on the right side, which have he's a right winger. He had behind him is Ramirez and David Luiz. Dani Alves. Hulk, his style of playing, he's kind of lazy a bit, but if he put his behind into working and do what he's supposed to do, he would be amazing. And that's the problem with him. If he did that, then there wouldn't be any problem, because everyone in the entire team in the entire country would like to see Lucas play more, because the way Lucas is playing, he attack and keep attacking. But he's kind of like laid back a bit, and when he see an opportunity, he would take it, but sometimes would miss poorly. And I think that's the reason why the manager think like it's better for him, because since he's a strong guy, he can be more physical and get to win the ball more. So that's why I think the manager wanted to keep him playing on that position. Neymar play for Barcelona. He play on the left side, which have Marcelo, and who else? Oscar. And the way Neymar play, he's more like the type of guy that would get into the mid and pass it to the left and then go back to the left and run straight. And sometimes when he get to the box, he would curve. When he curve, he would rather take a shot or do a cross and dribble like the defender or something. His style of playing, I really like it, but the only problem I have with him, he dives too much. Even though sometimes they're not diving, but sometimes you're like, come on, man, just be strong and deal with it. Just get up. And that's my only problem I have with him. And after that, he's a fabulous player to have. We have the attacker Fred. I've seen Fred play, and he kind of remind me of, what's his name? Fernando Torres a bit. Well, kind of a little bit. He's a laid-back attacker. Like, you won't see him coming, but like when you see him, you better be ready, because he might do something that you're not expecting. Like the way he scored in the Confederation Cup, I was really amazed on how he did, and that was pretty surprising. That was really good. I never seen him play for Brazil before, and during that time, I thought he was a good player for them to have. Next, now I'm gonna talk about some players that might be in the World Cup for 2014, and Kaká might be in the World Cup. If he is in the World Cup, he might be a captain, since he left Real Madrid to go to Barca. Not Barca, AC Milan. The way he played now, he's more like if he plays in the World Cup, he's most likely gonna replace Oscar on the field, because I don't think the coach would put him for Ramirez, because Ramirez is in a different position with Oscar. For me, Ronaldinho, I'm not sure. He might replace Hulk or Neymar, but I'm not sure about too much Fred, because that's the way it is. Because the way Ronaldinho's been playing, he's trying to get his form back, but I'm not sure if he's gonna be called out for the World Cup. But if he is gonna get called for the World Cup, he might be captain, because they need a veteran, and he to World Cup. And for an attacker, another attacker, I have Pato. Even though he kind of struggled a bit after leaving AC Milan, he's trying to find his form back. Like many great players before him, like Adriano, that lost his form very badly because that was pretty sad. Because if Adriano would kept on playing, he would be like a beast. Like he'd be a machine because the way Adriano played was aggressive and really, really aggressive. And you can see all the tape back from AC, from Inter de Milan, like back in the days. If you were watching Adriano, you would always like cheer for him to score because the way he scores are amazing. And the reason I think Pato should be in the World Cup is because he already been with those players already, and I think that'll be a good fit for Brazil. And that